Thank you very much. I have enjoyed learning about the CPB One app today. It's a pretty nifty little app. I just wanted to point out that, so if someone is illegally coming into our country, I call it illegally because I feel like a lot of them are in our country illegally, they can go to this app. And all they have to do is download CBP One. And they can come into Mexico, they can click on here and decide, are they a traveler, a broker, carrier, aircraft operator, bus operator, sea pilot, commercial truck driver, international organization? It's really interesting, though, the commercial truck driver one doesn't work yet, which I think is a complete failure. When you click on commercial truck driver, it says coming soon. You would think that this app would want to keep track of, imports coming into our country, trucks, agriculture, goods, whatever's bringing into the country. That's a really important fact and figure to keep track of. But if I am an individual and I'm coming into America, I can go on there and I can choose how I want to come in. I'm a pedestrian, so I click pedestrian. Let me tell you how great it is for people that are coming into our country that are not American citizens. They can find a wait time that fits their schedule. All they have to do is go on here and I can pick Calexico East, and I only have a 5-minute wait at a port of entry. And then I can look at this neat little graph that somehow tracks what time of the day is busier or less busy. But again, this app does not track or check trucks, commercial trucks coming into our country. And then here's what's really interesting. I find this very interesting. I can get a scheduled appointment, and it says you must be in central or northern Mexico to accept and schedule an appointment. So if I'm coming from China or Africa or whatever country in the world, I got to get my plane ticket to Mexico and then schedule my appointment so I can come into a port of entry. Now, here's the really interesting part. I would like our laws followed, but they're not followed right here on the CBP One app because it says that passports are optional. I think that's a big problem for people coming into our country and being told to go directly to the port of entry instead of course, going outside of the port of entries because that messes up the numbers. That apprehension numbers were off the chart, and that was a real problem for the Biden administration. So I'd like to ask you, Mr. Nunes-Nieto, why can't you tell us how many people are coming in the United States when you have a handy-dandy little app that you are tracking? You know the numbers. This is the American government. We put a man on the moon. We're able to count. Why can't you tell us how many so-called migrants are coming into our country?
So we do update the public and Congress on the number of people who are processed through the CBP One application, and I believe my testimony notes that since May 12th, we've been averaging about 1,070 individuals a day using the CBP One application, which again, as Chief Huffman noted, is just a scheduling tool that allows individuals who may wish to claim asylum to access the ports of entry as the Immigration and Nationality Act provides.
Well, can I ask you a question? This is something else I'm trying to understand now that we have an app to organize the illegal invasion into America so that everyone gets accepted, they have a time to come in, they say that they are seeking asylum, and then the American taxpayer gives them a plane ticket or a bus ticket to any town in the United States. Gosh, the American taxpayers are nice. Right here, it says that you say the reason why people are coming to America today is because of violence, food insecurity, severe poverty, corruption, climate change, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Did you know that there are over 500,000 homeless people in the United States today? And as a matter of fact, the homeless population rose significantly since 29. That's for Americans. So we have homelessness here in America. Natural disasters. Talk about climate change. This is the 4th largest country in the world. We have an extremely diverse climate. We have a wide range of natural disasters. 97 natural disasters occurred in 2021. I don't think this is very safe for migrants here in America. We had 97. How many are they having in their country? These natural disasters include wildfires, heat waves, droughts, flash floods, winter storms, cold waves, tropical cyclones, and on and on and on. But yet they need to come to our country because of climate change. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not a safe country either, by the way. In America, there were 1,313,000 violent crimes in the U.S., and that was in 2020. I can't imagine what the numbers are since then, since crime has come up. I think that you need better reasons if you're going to try to let a bunch of people in the U.S. using a handy-dandy app where you don't track imports than climate change, because that is not an excuse people are buying. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Morenz, your emails have been quite interesting. Reading them has been pretty shocking. On April 18th, 2020, you wrote an email saying, Peter Daszak emailed me and Tony, congratulating Tony on standing up for science. That email somehow fell into the hands of the congressman, probably via a FOIA of someone who didn't delete it, as I did, delete all of Peter's emails and others relating to the origin when the shit started hitting the fan. Anyway, the congressman got a copy of Peter D's emails from someone at NIH, and he now wants to get any reply Tony and I or anyone else may have sent back to Peter. Mine was erased long ago. I verified that today, and I feel pretty sure Tony's was too. The best way to avoid FOIA hassles is to delete all emails when you learn a subject is getting sensitive. In any case, there's nothing here except opportunities to hassle, harass, and huff and puff. You really got into some opportunities. You also wrote on June 16, 2020, you said, the FOIAs are dreadful and paranoia-inducing. In the old days, we had to do them ourselves by hand. I mean, finding and printing out thousands of emails coming in and going out. Now, they sometimes FOIA text messages, too. Many FOIAs turn up thousands of pages of docs, and of course, most of meaningless. We are all smart enough to know to never have smoking guns, and if we did, we wouldn't put them in emails. And if we found them, we'd delete them. You wrote on February 24th, 2021, you said, you were right, and I need to be more careful. However, as I mentioned once before, I learned from our FOIA lady here how to make emails disappear after I am FOIA'd. But before the search starts, so I think we are all safe. Plus, I deleted most of those earlier emails after sending them to Gmail. Dr. Morenz, who's your FOIA lady? Is it Hillary Clinton? You're welcome.
Thank you for the humor. I think, you said about 10 things there, and my brain can't keep them all in my head, but I think I've answered a lot of those questions. That the FOIA, I told you who the FOIA lady was. I told you what she told me. I told the committee that it's impossible to avoid a FOIA, and it's impossible to destroy an NIH document, an email document.
Well, clearly, because we've got your emails, and they're pretty shocking.
There you go.
I do appreciate humor as well, but you do receive a taxpayer paycheck, and when it comes to work emails, there's a lot of things that shouldn't.
By the way, if I understood what you just said, let me just say that a lot of government emails come to my Gmail. Stuff from CDC, my paycheck.
This is all related to your job, though, regardless of which email account. Like I said, Hillary Clinton had a private server as well, and she put a lot of things there, and somehow they disappeared. Dr. Morenz, you also wrote on October 5th, 2021, Peter, I just got news that the FOIA picked up an email I sent you saying that Tony commented he was brain dead. Jokingly, of course. However, Ron Johnson is all over it, and now after me. Tony will be pissed, rightfully so. I deleted the email, but I now learned that every email I ever got since 1998 is captured and will be turned over whether or not I instantly deleted it. Gmail, phone, text, I need to scrupulously rely on those exclusively. On July 22nd, 2020, this one was actually pretty interesting. I am actually imbibing a double, or is it a triple, martini at the moment. Not sure of the amount of ETOH because I just poured until my elbow got sore. But the olive at the bottom is hard to see. No hot tub in my condo. I tried to negotiate a jacuzzi, but they balked and I caved. In any case, now that I am divorced, what good is a hot tub or jacuzzi? If I am lucky enough to find a girlfriend, I will spring for a jacuzzi, upgrade my wine cooler, get a mattress that will take more of a pounding, and stop working so hard. In the meantime, I will work at my job of trying to make the boss look good. In the summer of 2020, COVID was raging. And I personally believe that Peter Daszak at EcoHealth had a lot to do with the fact that COVID was raging, because experimenting on viruses that turn into basically a monster that has murdered millions and millions of people is something to take very seriously. I have one more question for you. This is where you emailed and talked about kickbacks. This was on August 27th, 2020, after you were talking about covering up for Tony. You said, of course, there's a kickback. And then you also referenced a kickback on August 27th, 2020. You said, do I get a kickback? Too much fucking money? Do you deserve it all? Let's discuss. Have you made any money off of EcoHealth, off of COVID-19, and off of COVID vaccines, Dr. Morens? Then what were you talking about with kickbacks? That's not a joke. You were talking about kickbacks, and this is something that's very serious. As I said, millions of people died, and millions of people were forced to take a vaccine they should have never had to take against their will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.